Zillow shares are getting crushed. Here's why. Google is testing out displaying property listings in search results. And these property listings are not coming from Zillow. They're coming from HouseCanary. And so is this a concern for Zillow? It seems like shareholders think it is. On the week, shares are down 4.63% as of today's recording. And Mike Del Prete kind of broke it down and showed what this disruption could look like. And it's kind of interesting. Is Zillow being dethroned?
That is interesting, especially since like HouseCanary, which obviously a big player, but only like if you're deep in the space, dethroning them, that's interesting.
Super interesting. I've been getting a lot of HouseCanary ads on Instagram that seem to be geared towards real estate agents telling me, hey, I can find tomorrow's sellers today. And it looks like they're using a lot of predictive analytics similar to what we're doing to uncover likely sellers. It's really interesting.
It's the wave. We know it. We know it's coming. It's going to continue to come. What? I got an idea.
I'm just thinking. Yes, it's like
you think some Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones here. I'm looking at. That's a wave of the future. Dun, 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 dun.
You're so funny.
All right, so HouseCanary. I mean, that's a pretty new company, right? And so there's more of a data company.
HouseCanary, well, what I find to be interesting is they have an investor marketplace, and back in the COVID days, they worked really with institutional buyers mainly, and they would connect them to data and property and whatnot, and
make decisions based on data.
Allow the institutional investors to really build their portfolios. And so I think probably what I'm guessing is in the years ensuing, when the institutional activity somewhat died down on the buying end, they transitioned their business and have, geared towards working with real estate agents, opening up their marketplace to real estate agents. And then this new partnership with Google, I mean, this is insane. This is massive. That is
wild.
Is it too late though? Is it too late? Because we know that ChatGPT has recently integrated with Zillow, and you got to imagine a lot of folks are using that application inside of Chat.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a stat the other day that Chat's up to 400, or was it 4? I don't remember. It was like 4. I know it's going to sound crazy, but different, but it was like 400 or 800, something 100 million users per month now. And it was like nutso high. So it's crazy how much it just continues to increase. So it makes me think though, like exactly what you're talking about this. So if like Google that's owned the search, for forever, now Google Chat is impeding on that. So like this is like another rival thing because Chat
I don't even use Google
connects
anymore.
to Zillow, Google connecting to this.
Yeah, I mean Google's more of a pain in the butt right now. Like you just go to ChatGPT and ask it whatever.
It returns are insane.
Sorry
better.
guys. It's insane better. It's fast. It makes more sense. And I mean I know Google has their AI up at the top, but then you get all the other crap with it too.
It's not as good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Google's Google, so they still get majority of the eyeballs, but I'm with you. When I do a search, we might have to replace some plumbing in our house. Finally, obviously we knew it was coming and just pushed it out until it was, can't wait anymore. And I Googled the difference between our options, and what I got on Google versus ChatGPT was not even comparable. ChatGPT was smoked it.
Yeah, and then you can keep asking it questions, and it keeps going down the rabbit hole. Rather with Google, like you got to go back up, and it doesn't like
no, you can't do it.
A long string of like, okay, but what about this? Okay, but what about this? And then it'll continue to
Would you like
talk
me to check out
and to think with you. Yeah.
So is Google like a day late, a buck short on this integration?
I mean, hey, if we were partnered with Google, we wouldn't be complaining.
No.
So
Yes.
I don't know.
There's still like
So
a billion
point.
searches a day,
So
right?
good
Like
point,
I think that's what their rolling kingpin point was for a long time is billion plus searches per day.
So HouseCanary has connected with Google right now, and they are now you can search for say like houses in Gilbert, and Google will return a bunch of houses. Is that what's going on?
They will return HouseCanary listings of houses. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is somewhat of a big deal, and I think that when this news kind of broke on Monday, shares were down 11% at one point. But we know how markets react; they overreact, and it since went back up, rebounded a little bit. But one of the analysts that was rating Zillow stock said that he wouldn't expect a meaningful financial impact from this, but we're seeing some. Hold on, my dog groomer's at my house. Just a sec. Do you guys have a mobile pet groomer?
No.
Oh.
I shave my own. I shave the dogs myself.
You do.
Yeah,
Hopefully
you've
not
been
the
doing that
same
forever.
shears that you shaved Noah's head with.
What? No, it's a
Wait,
different.
wait.
No, it was a different one. That's funny, though.
I thought for a minute you were gonna be like, yeah.
I've used that to cut my own hair, though.
Okay, no,
so
okay.
It's been on my head
Which is great, but maybe the dog's
and
like,
my chest, because I don't like
Wow.
a bunch of chest hairs.
Don't
all
worry.
around.
get the chest while you're
I
at it.
sanitized it.
Oh, she's a godsend.
No, I have not sanitized it.
Oh wow.
And our dogs
Don't
love
know.
her. Yeah, she's amazing. So sorry for the interruption.
So I'm curious with this, the Canary return, like, is it returning properties that are off market as well too in their investor marketplace?
That I don't know too. I don't know the
Because
weeds
if they
of
are
it.
doing that, that would actually be pretty kingpin, as we know.
Or they,
But it's gonna take a long time for them to like steal Zillow. People going to Zillow.
300
for
million.
them to siphon off that.
But I guess if people, I mean, because most people will go to Google and that they Google an address, if HouseCanary's thing comes up first and then it's Zillow.
Yep.
You know.
Well, what? Okay, so I was trying to Google something real quick. I'm not on chat. I'm on Google trying to find this. I'm trying to figure out where HouseCanary gets their data, right? Something interesting. Recently, our data provider sent me an update that I had to sign to our subscriber agreement. And as I'm reading through this update, apparently the core component of it was I had to say that I wasn't affiliated or a business of Zillow's.
Ooh.
And then there was a long list of other companies, and
Wow.
I don't want to like reveal too much because I don't want to like get in trouble with this, but
Yeah,
I'm like,
disclosure
what
agreement.
is going on? It's like the data world is truly the world that runs the real
Are
estate
they
industry.
attacking?
Oh, all things.
Is Zillow being attacked? Like, I think they're really definitely trying to take down Zillow. A lot of people are.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
all the
that's
lawsuits.
everyone's goal. I mean, don't you think that like that's Open Doors' goal?
Well, it was at one point. We know that.
Yeah.
But now they're partners. I mean, don't they have some sort of like agreement for a stock purchase agreement?
They have like a warrant on Open Door stock at like $21 a
Yeah,
share or
it's some
something. This is
crazy
like an
amount.
insane amount of money.
But it could-
or 17. I forget what it was, but
Let's see.
let's see. Recently, Open Doors making some moves. They brought on more executive leadership to accelerate the pace of tokenization of real estate. And on that news, their stock rebounded a little bit. Still not what it was at in August, and so it's still down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Open Door is seeing the future of real estate and saying like, this is happening. It's coming faster than we can all imagine, and we want to be the leader of it.
Yeah, I think tokenization it's coming in not only real estate, it's coming in personal information. I mean, I think that they're like, when you look at the use cases for it, for any basic data storage and being able to access it and store it on, like a blockchain, and being able to access it is not only is it so relevant in so many ways that we can think of, I think that there's going to be a lot of ways that are going to get unveiled, like, oh crap, I didn't think about that. And it's going to be just increase efficiency of useful information.
When they did that, did they say like what that means? Because you still have to think about the average consumer is going to right over their head.
Sure.
1,000,000%, Keith. That's interesting. You just mentioned that because I thought to myself, like, when you hear tokenization of real estate, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, they didn't.
I was just curious if they tried to.
I think it means you're going to be able to leverage it more, right? I mean, so you could like, I could sell Elliot, $20 of my house if I wanted to, and go,
Right.
here you go.
Give them
Here,
a token.
give me lend me $20. All right, here you go. Here's $20 of my house.
$20 in my house. Yeah.
And so now you have it in your own wallet, and you own like a little percentage of my house, right? And if you're able to do that with people, with family members or whatever, I mean, you can
leverage the token.
Yeah.
Margin call.
Sorry, I owe grandma 500 of it first.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Margin
Uncle
call.
Joe.
It's better than the suitcase of IOUs from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
got
one.
no
You're gonna wanna
equity
keep
left.
that.
Yeah.
I tokenized it all.
No, but for real though, like that, and it's cool. It's cool that, I mean, there are companies that were founded around unlocking equity in the home. I think
Oh, gosh, yes.
Point, that was one company, and it was just this tech founder who exited the tech industry, went to go start a new business, and then couldn't get a loan, even though he had a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait,
This doesn't even make any sense.
It makes no sense. And so you own this asset, you have all this equity in it, and it's cumbersome and difficult to tap into that. But is that the way the system wants it to be?
Probably, right? Because it's built on being a a part of the system, right? Like credit score, steady job, right? Pay your bills, all those things. Like people that are the same reason, like not going too crazy conspiracy theory, but like you look at the schooling system, right? There's all kinds of things that we know that have been unveiled that the schooling system is developed to create employees. To me, this is right along those lines.
Are we going to tokenize the schooling system?
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are stockpiling billions in mortgages. This news is hitting. Their mortgage-backed securities have just grown. They've added more than $55 billion in mortgage principal balances to their combined holdings. It's an increase of 30%.
Wow.
Wait, how? What, I don't understand what.
Wow.
Like, what is that? What
Does that mean they're like bullish on the housing market?
They accumulated a ton more, and to this, I mean, obviously, from
or does
where,
it mean there's no other buyers?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know, I mean, it's like, so I'm sitting here going like, yeah.
There's no other. No one else wants these mortgage-backed securities besides the Fannie and Freddie. Because are they private yet? No, did they go back private?
They are still private.
private.
They've not yet went public.
I mean, yeah, public.
Right.
I meant.
Right. Yeah.
They're still private.
No, but
they're
they're still. Oh yeah, take that out, Chris.
Yes.
What?
But they still are.
I said the T word.
Run by the government, right? Or not run by the government, but they're.
At one point, they were in conservatorship.
Conservatorship.
I don't believe that they are any longer. We've noticed, though, over the past several months, I think one of the reasons rates have continued to kind of stay where they're at is the yield between the 10-year Treasury and mortgage interest rates has compressed. And so that's been good news, right? Like at one point, like last October, it was the highest it had been. There was a massive spread. And what the analysts are saying is that one of the reasons that the spread is as low as it is because Fannie and Freddie are essentially adding to their balance sheets and buying these mortgage-backed securities.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and they have to because there's no one else who wants them.
Is that the takeaway?
Yeah, I wonder if they're being strong-armed in the background to do so.
Who knows? Yeah.
They're also saying maybe it's a prelude to a prelude. I say that word wrong.
Prelude, yeah.
When I say words wrong, people get mad. And apparently when we don't comb our hair, people get mad. Did you guys hear about that?
Yes. Noah's such a scrub.
That's so mean.
Gosh, he could comb his hair.
He got to comb his hair. Or you get a hairstyle. When you get, it's not mean. What do you mean mean? I tell him in his face. It's scrubby. You gotta comb your hair, bro.
The one that always gets me is Joseph. Like Joseph will like show up like same hoodie, same huff hat every day, and then like we'll see him at a holiday party and like all dressed up. I'm like,
yeah, he's all like hair slicked
yes,
back.
Yeah, like what?
Like George Clooney or something.
Who are you? This guy cleans up well.
Yes, he does.
But is it a prelude to an IPO and them, adding to their balance sheet and
assets?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's an interesting thought.
Time will tell.
Like
yeah.
Interesting thought.
Well, it's not mine. It's Realtor.com's, and I'm just reading
Maybe they have the inside scoop. Who knows?
Who knows? No doubt, though, next year could be insane for real estate. Recently, Jerome Powell, during the Fed meeting, said that essentially they're very worried about the housing market. And are they worried because they know that there will be rate cuts, there's pent-up demand, there will be an injection of capital, and that will cause the housing market to heat up in a very meaningful, powerful way, and we could see home price acceleration again? Like, what do we think those comments meant?
He knows that the match is about to be struck, and there is absolutely pent-up demand because rates are going to be slashed. The new Fed chair that's coming in, it is absolutely inevitable. There's pent-up demand. Affordability has to come back down, and they have to get the rates in line so that it meets the prices of today. But of course, the worry is prices will go once the rates hit a certain point. So get locked and loaded, get ready. There's probably about a 3-month window.
And we know the administration wants it to zero.
Yep.
So
it would be crazy to see real estate prices go up again from where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
But they've come down though.
They have come down.
I know, but
I mean,
if they
so
just
we would go back
up
up to that 2021
all-time
levels.
high.
Like
it didn't belong there in the first place.
It didn't belong there. It overshot it, right? And now maybe it belongs there now. And so
it was way overbought.
Maybe,
the RSI was showing overbought.
Yes, we've gone below the MACD. It's Anyways.
Here's where it's really at. And I had posted a video recently that got a lot of comments, and it was about...
You had a viral video.
Yeah, it was about home prices, right? And house prices. And someone had pointed out it's just inflation. And that's what we're really dealing with. And I remember guys, like back in like, because we've been podcasting for a long time. If you've been following us for a long time, thank you. We love it. We're glad that you're a regular listener or viewer. But how long have we been doing this podcast now? 5 years?
5 years.
I don't think we did start in 2020. I remember meeting the office from time to time when we weren't in the office full time. Yeah.
And got on purpose in 21. Yeah. We took our masks off.
Well, no, give us COVID.
Recently, I heard a statistic around podcasts, and I'm not going to be able to find it fast enough to share, but the reality is most people that start a podcast don't continue it, and most people like will do one episode and then drop off, and only a few percentage of people end up doing like a dozen. And the fact that we've been at this for 5 years, like, guys.
I remember like Russell Brunson was like talking about getting to 100 and the importance of it, and watch what happens after 100.
Crazy things.
100
cool
podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're like at like 588 or something like that, right?
We're at 220. We're at 200. Today is our 200th episode. What the heck? I didn't even know that.
Why are we like ringing a bell or doing something?
Okay. Shoot.
200.
That's
200
insane,
episodes.
guys.
Congratulations, guys. 200.
Yeah.
Congrats.
That's funny that you started talking about this at 200.
We had no idea. I started talking about it because I thought back to a podcast years ago where it's funny because like in our journey of like what we talk about and topics, things have changed a lot drastically, and especially like over the past like 24 months, 18 months, 12 months, right? We've really, our ideology around things has really shifted and grown, I would say.
Yeah.
But I can remember one where I specifically said like, our house prices, I mean, I remember it was like in 2020, house prices were going crazy up. And I remember going like, are they really going up, or is this just inflation? And like, it was just like this, like, knee-jerk thought. And then really.
And then now it's swinging the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, we went through ChatGPT on our podcast. Remember that? Like when we started using it.
Oh yeah.
Like when it came out, and it was like, oh, we got ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was like showing people how to like make
check
fire.
out how cool this is. Live. I remember that we did that a couple of times. Yeah. That was so good.
Very cool.
So any fun memories from our podcast? I have one while you guys are thinking. I remember like 1 October, it was the first October we were podcasting, and we all dressed up, and like
that's hilarious because that's exactly where my brain is. Sorry.
Well, it's funny because I just remember Keith, and maybe it's because I saved it as your photo. I gotta show you. Keith wore this.
What was it?
He looked so fun.
Oh, the wolf one. Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember that.
With my Beetlejuice suit.
Yeah, that was funny. And I loved it. That was fun.
Yes. I don't know what my favorite part is. I think my favorite part is this new studio. Thanks to Chris helping us put together a really cool studio and a really cool desk, and then Elliot's the video wall. Wait, hold on, the video wall's not here yet.
He sent you everything. You haven't ordered it yet.
I actually am reorganizing it as we speak.
Okay.
One of my favorite ones, I think, is actually, I got several memories, but there's one specifically that I'll share that it was like way back in the beginning, when you're starting out and you'd be like, and I remember being like, welcome to another Zoodealio podcast. And Jay called me out right away. He's like, you got like podcast voice on? Zoodealio podcast.
Or when we change the name and it's like, it's not called that anymore.
Same thing.
We've changed the name. Like it was like iBuyer Experiment.
And
now it's the Real Estate Rundown, I think.
And I was just talking to Chris about this yesterday. I was like, okay, so we got the daily one. We got that. I was like, are we Real Estate Rundown? Is it Daily Dealio? Which one is it? I was like, I kind of like the Daily Dealio. It's a little bit more marketable.
I do too. What do you guys think? Should we just change all of it to the Daily Dealio? Drop it in the comments below, and thanks so much for tuning in.